Thank you for checking out the Rebuild Talks with Tiffany. I'm so excited about this episode. This week, I'm talking with the one and the only Akilah Willery. You need to hear about this fabulous woman. We had an amazing conversation. It was so good. We couldn't fit it all into one episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with a friend, tell someone who you know wants to rebuild their life in a powerful way. I can't wait to hear what you think about this episode. Comment below.
Hello, Miss Tiffany Nelson. I am so happy to have you here today on the Melanated Midlife podcast. How's it going?
I'm so glad to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
We have been just a little too excited to record this. I mean, we're doing business and I'm goofy. I sense the goofy in you.
Absolutely.
We probably should not sit next to each other in person.
Well, there goes the fun in that.
I know. I mean, but the beauty of this is that we talk a lot of the same core topics. And so I'm going to sit here and take notes as like I can geek out, because I think that is something that not enough people understand, that this whole midlife transition, this whole rebuild, and I love the title of your podcast, The Rebuild. There's so much power in your title, the name of that, but there's so much in this rebuild. There's so many layers to this, and it's a message that more people need to hear, because there's an isolation, I think, that folks feel when they're going through something, coming out of something, and the tendency would be to go hide and to put all of that in the closet and just kind of pretend that we're okay. That's not quite how it goes. That's not the real story. And the stories that you and I are telling, I think we need to hear more of that. So anyway, Miss Tiffany Nelson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
You know, I think about this all the time. Like, how do I introduce myself? And I live in a place where people are often defined by, what do you do? I mean, I'm definitely defined by, who am I? So I am a powerful, outrageous, responsible leader. I'm a life strategist. I'm a personal growth development coach. And professionally, I'm an HR operations manager.
So you deal with people for
I deal
money.
with people. I deal with people, lots of people over many different industries. So that's always fun. I think there's so much beauty that happens on the other side. I think also, to your point, I think we're a very unique group of people. I think we're a group of people who we've experienced life before technology and life after technology. You know, I look at my daughter and I say, I call her, she's born in October, so I call her Pumpkin. So I said, Pumpkin, Pumpkin, pretend that you're answering the phone. And she goes, hello? And I said, no, we go, hello, right? Because we're used to picking up a phone
Never noticed that.
Like this, And so she has no knowledge about that. She's like, no, she holds the phone to her ear like this. So they have no knowledge about that. They only have knowledge of this. And so I think we're in an interesting space that we remember that one telephone, that one corded telephone, that the cord was stretched out because we tried to make it go as far as.
If you were one of the rich kids that had a separate line, you could talk in private. But if not, somebody else in the house was going to pick up another phone and tell you, hey, Tiffany, it's past whatever o'clock. Get your butt in the bed. The mortification. All coolness went out the window when mama and grandma picked up the phone in the other room and put you in your place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And probably called out your full government name.
Your whole name. Or better yet, at my house, my dad would pick up and just start dialing, and you're like, Dad, I'm on the phone, Dad.
Oh my God. We need to call in a therapist and have a session real quick. The trauma we suffered from those telephone moments. It was real.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
But it's so funny. So I love that. I think you and I both, I guess I'd say, like, hip hop heads, right? Like, we're both into hip hop, and I think hip hop we experience it from a different lens. I think we experienced hip hop, like the creation and the beginning and the foundation of hip hop. But I think at this point, we're also seeing, like, hip hop through a different lens. We're looking at it through an academic lens, we're looking at pedagogy, we're looking at cultural influence, how it's infiltrated our lives in general. And people
Yeah.
try to say that it's not, but okay, that's a
It
whole
is.
other conversation.
No, it did. It did.
Something interesting that I experienced earlier this year. I told you I was from Queens, New York. Earlier this year, I went to see Nas. Much respect, sir. Much respect, Nas. I went to see Nas in concert, and he was playing in Las Vegas. And he was playing with the Las Vegas Philharmonic. And I feel like this was such an interesting lesson. I feel like it's such a lesson that our generation can really understand and take. Yes, we know Nas of, the fatigue jacket and the cap, like just always on tilt and Timberland boots, and we know that Nas and the Nas from the movie Belly, and we know him. And it was just so interesting to see him in a tuxedo and beautiful Italian leather shoes, and the same music. It's the same music. These are the same lyrics that he wrote 20, 30 years ago, but it's packaged in a different way. He has a philharmonic playing behind him. He has, like different lights and different action. And so it's just so interesting how in the rebuild, like that is how we continue to progress. If we're willing to let go of, right? He had to let go of something, and I'm not saying that he does this all the time. I'm saying that, that was for that specific thing. But
Yeah.
it's interesting how if we're willing to let go of other things, we already have the confidence, right? Because he's been a hip hop artist, a rapper for 30 years, 30
Yeah.
plus years. He already has the confidence. It's interesting how he took a step and tried something different and found a spot. And sometimes it is that small. It might have been listening to, a Nat King Cole album that said, oh, maybe he said, oh, maybe I'll wear a tuxedo. I wonder what it'll be like if I performed, if I ruled the world in a tuxedo. And how it just opens up so much more. It just opened up this whole, you know, residency for him in Vegas. And I think what's interesting is when we give thought to maybe I'll try something different. Like maybe I'll cut my hair and rock a short haircut and see how that right? Because we've been conditioned to think that long hair there's only one standard of beauty. This is the longest my hair has been.
It is gorgeous.
Because thank you. And look
Hey,
this your
and for
hair.
people are watching this, and I want y'all to know Tiffany got up early on this morning and did the full glow up. So we are very grateful for all the blowout and effort that went into it. So I got to give you your
Today.
flowers, my
That
dear.
listen, that's today. That's just today. That is just today. But it's so funny because years ago I wouldn't wear my hair long. Like
Mm.
this is the longest that I've been wearing my hair. And because I felt like there was every Black girl in America was wearing her hair with a center part straight down. And I was like, that's not my style. Like I have the courage to try something different.
Yeah.
And I would rock a pixie. Like I would rock it. And this is my hair. I'm not relaxed. I got to get a blowout. Don't let it get too warm in here. Cause
Or even have that internal warmth.
don't let it get too. And yes, I'm at that age where that internal summer starts occurring. Like, don't let
Yep.
that happen because this hair will turn into something completely different. But it's just the courage to take a step, try something
Yeah.
different, try something new. Yeah,
Tell me about your real life clients, and we will protect their privacy. So, but I'm
yes,
very
absolutely.
curious if you think of either one client or maybe a commonality with your clients where you are seeing them take that one bold move, that one powerful step.
Yeah.
What does that look like in practical examples for you
So I
folks?
think I think if I'm talking about my clients are typically educated or high performing, high income earners, successful people, or maybe often they have a deep sense of self. They could be artists, but they have a deep connection, let's say, to what they do, the work that they do, the success that they've generated so far. So that's typically the client that I seem to find, or that seems to find me. Honestly, they're just looking for someone who looks or sounds like them, who's willing to give them permission. Like they want to try something different, but they feel like they don't have the permission to.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely the person to say, yeah, let's try that. Like, I don't see why that can't work. And it's only because I've looked at lots of possibilities. I've worked with lots of different work groups from, our C-suite to, the cashiers at CVS. And I think it's really just often people are just looking for permission.
What is it that you could say if you had a room full of those folks right now, which
Hmm.
you do, these people have
Yeah,
tuned
yeah,
in to this
yeah.
episode because they're looking for that permission. They're looking for some way to unlock whatever the next thing is. What is the one tip that you can give them? The one bit of advice if they are at that threshold to possibly do something different, or what would you tell them?
Yeah. So I think I would give them the tip that I give typically. So in working in HR operations, my specialty is talent acquisition, right? So recruiting, hiring, supporting people. I'm so upset that I missed out on your LinkedIn challenge, but I know you're going to run another one, I'm sure soon, and I will be signing up for that. So that's my background in HR. And one thing that I tell people when I work with early career professionals and college students, and this is probably dating myself again. Another ad that we would often see in the 80s and 90s is drink responsibly. I think people have seen that. It often comes on like after a Heineken commercial or
Yeah.
after a spirits commercial. Drink responsibly. I love that. I love that. That's their disclaimer. We're offering you this, but drink responsibly. And often in talent acquisition and recruiting, I would tell applicants and candidates apply irresponsibly. Like apply to the position that you want, not the position that you think you have the credentials to get. This is specifically around a lot around women, right? Because women will apply to roles where they have 80% of the responsibility in the task they've already done, and they're afraid to apply. Men will have 20% of the experience, and they will apply to. This is statistically. This is not my
That
numbers.
No, I mean, think of how, and with all love to the women, think of how screwed up we are. If we're
All the
looking,
time.
what are we telling young girls
Yes.
versus young boys for
Yes.
us to get to adulthood, into our professional lives, and our perceptions are so off?
Right. Right.
If
Yeah.
I'm 80% qualified, I'm looking at
Mhm.
that application or the job posting, and
Yeah.
I'm already taking myself out of the running because
Mhm.
I'm maybe don't have one credential.
One
But a
credential.
dude
Yeah.
is gonna look at that and say, "Rocket scientist? I
Yeah.
like rockets."
Exactly. Exactly. That is exactly. I watched that show that one time. I watched the documentary. I spent 45 minutes, right? I can
Oh
tell
my
you
god.
about. Yeah.
You ain't lying though.
This is so true. We're laughing about it because it is
Yes.
so true. It is
Yeah.
so true. Yeah. That's what I would tell people who are looking to do something differently. Apply irresponsibly. Go after it. It doesn't need to make sense. It shouldn't make sense. Go after it. Apply irresponsibly. If it's a job, if it's a person, there is no way that, and the whole world needs to be grateful that I no longer rock a pixie, because when I had my short haircut, there's no way you couldn't tell me that any guy that I was interested, I wasn't going. Do you see me? Do you see the? Do you know the confidence that comes with this haircut?
Yeah, you're
And
lucky I'm
so, like,
talking to you right now.
yes, go after. If it's someone you're interested in, go after that person. Apply irresponsibly. If it's a home that you're looking, if it's a place to live, the money will figure itself out. It'll figure itself out. If you're supposed to have it, the money will figure itself out. Because it'll
I
be the moment that you say, you know what? I think I want to purchase this little beachside home. All of a sudden, Auntie such and such comes out of nowhere, and is like, you know what? I put this little money aside. I had this under
yeah.
my bed. It's $30,000. Here you go. I just want to bless you with a little something.
Girl, yeah. And again, these are things that might have been in plain sight, but you stay locked in whatever your
Right.
comfort zone is, and
Right.
you don't see it. You
Yeah.
only see the things that you see every day. But
Yeah.
then you start to step out of that, you get out of that bubble, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden, I see an opportunity. I see something.
Absolutely.
Things will naturally just find their way to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We just have to take the first step. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that advice. Apply irresponsibly, especially to our women that don't be the
Yes.
one that says no. Let somebody else say no. Don't you be the one that tells yourself no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a philosophy for me for life.
Yeah,
That is a life philosophy. Let someone else tell you no. I'm not telling
yeah,
myself no. I'm gonna hear no enough. Even with my daughters, my daughter's 16, she'll be 17. There are some things that I say no to, but there are a lot of things that I'm like, I'm gonna let you figure it out because the world is gonna tell you no enough. I
mhm,
don't need to tell you no about everything. Sometimes there are some things that the world just will tell you. And I don't need to tell myself. I don't need to tell myself no. I need to go after what I want and figure it out.
yeah. I want you to speak directly to the person that tuned in here today
Mm.
because they are at that scary moment of something is changing and they have we're talking all the inspirational things like apply irresponsibly, try and do this scary first step or whatever. But there are some people that things have happened involuntarily. Like we say, it's kicked them out of their normal orbit, and you and I both touched on the depression, the wanna go and hide and, just kinda
Yeah.
just put everything on pause indefinitely. Speak to that person that has been knocked out of their routine, knocked out of their comfort zone, and they're not feeling that positivity. They ain't in that go girl moment. They're like, "Oh my God, how can I get beyond this?
Hmm.
How am I going to start over? How am I going to survive beyond this great life-changing thing?" What do you want to tell those folks to give them some hope of what the future could look like?
Yeah, so I think to give those people hope essentially, and it was to give myself hope, right? When I was going through that, there are a couple of things you might need to change the table that you're sitting at. If you're sitting with the same group of friends who you all are having the same conversation,
Yeah.
you might need to go sit at a different table. And that's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. And I think if you're intentional about making friends and having a new being in a new community. And if you don't find the community that you're interested in having, then you get to create it because someone else needs it. So I would think that's the first thing. The second thing that I would say is just like when I'm advising candidates or applicants who, let's say, are new to a job and they're about to be onboarded, one of the things that I say is find out all the benefits. And if you have a job and you have benefits, you likely have access to whether it's a therapist, a coach, a counselor. Use your benefits. Use your benefits. Don't leave any money on the table. Your health insurance is paying for it. Use your benefits. Find a coach, find a therapist. So many companies, organizations, and you and I have worked for larger organizations, but so many small organizations have this as well. There are employee assistance programs. Find a coach. They have
Yeah.
coaches for coaching around stress. They have coaching around fitness. They have coaching around nutrition. They have coaching around finances. They have therapists. Find someone. Don't leave the if you're not using all of the benefits that you get from your career, you are leaving money on the table. If
Yeah.
you're not using all of your employee benefits, you are leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Let's just say we're talking to someone. So, in all transparency, there was a time when I was transitioning out of being married when I didn't have a job. I wasn't working. And there are so many resources. Find the resources. These little telephones that we have, find the resource. Whether
Yeah.
it is there's free therapy online, there are organizations that pay for people to use find a coach, find a therapist, find professional help and sit at a different table. Those are like the two main things that I would say. And also remove yourself from every day you have to renew your thinking. So if you're in a situation where you're thinking the same way, choose another thought. Just choose a different thought. It sounds really simple, but sometimes you just got to choose another thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Sit at a different table because you're
Yeah.
right. Sometimes we're in an echo chamber. Our outlook, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, our limiting beliefs sometimes are right there in that circle. And we've got to just change where we're sitting, change our perspective, and things can open up from there. I want to go touch on what you're talking about with the
Yeah.
employee benefits because I'm very open that it's almost been a year since I had my layoff and
Mm,
recovered, but it was emotional. And that is the thing that I think people say all over and over again. When that job ends or when that organization basically pushes you out, there's a whole that you
mhm,
go through and
mhm.
you think, I'm a baddie, I'm all that. I'm black girl magic sprinkled all over the place. And then when somebody
Yeah,
says, no, thank you, we're done with you, it feels like the rejection it is. And
yeah.
when you talk about the benefits that you're leaving behind, whether previous roles, whether I left voluntarily or was laid off, that is the first thing one of the first things I thought about after you're, worried about your money. You're just like, what about my benefits?
Right. What about
How
all those sick days that you didn't take? Why?
all those sick days. And here's my number, 117. When I left my former career, that was
Mhm.
what I thought. I had 117 personal days that went unused. And that was from, no shade to the organization. They didn't have anything to do with it, but there was no payout for that. And it never occurred to me until after I left the role. And I was like, that's 117 times that I rushed to a doctor's appointment and then rushed right back to my desk. Or 117 times I got up and I went to work sick.
Yeah.
117 times that I missed out on something, family emergency or family joy,
Mhm.
where I thought work was more important. And all of that came rushing back to me when that job came to an end. And I tell people that over and over again that I really need to tattoo it on my forehead as a reminder of where you need to put your priorities. And yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear an actual HR professional say that out
Yeah.
loud, that your benefits are there for you to use them, not just see it taken
Absolutely.
out of your check and be like, ooh,
Right, 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 right. Absolutely, absolutely. Maybe it is getting a 117 plate. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a something on your desk that says one. Because sometimes we just need that. You make such a great point. Sometimes we just need that tiny reminder. Sometimes it's just a tiny reminder. I have love tattooed on the inside of my finger just to remind me, to love myself first.
yes,
Because if I don't love myself, I can't love other people. And
yeah,
117 is such a reminder. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're no good to your husband, your children, your parents, your grandparent. You're just not. You're just
yeah.
not. So I love that. That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's just a reminder, and I
Yeah.
will say for you with your expertise with the people that you work with, both on your on your private client side and then also on the HR side, I want you to just tell these. I feel like I'm like tell these people, but
Tell them.
I want you to give me your best, your best go girl or you do that rah rah speech to help folks understand that they've got to do the things for themselves. For those of us that are waiting, like you said, for permission,
Yeah.
those of us that are waiting for a sign, or I'm going to wait until whatever the finish line that we've put arbitrarily out there for ourselves. Speak to those folks that are waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. So for this, I would definitely bring my dad into the mix. Before the pandemic at Costco, we would have these. You go to Costco and there'll be different stations. I'm sure they did this there where they would have samples. Yes. So
You
they'd
got a
have
whole
these
lunch.
samples. Yeah. Yeah. They'd have. And so I'd call my dad and I'd say on a day that I'm working, "Hey dad, what's up? How you doing?" Say, "Oh, I just got back from lunch." "Where'd you go for lunch?" "I went to Costco." I was like, "Oh, what'd you get?" He's like, "Oh,
Everything.
well, I went to this station and I had this, and I went to this station and I had this." So this would be his thing. And so I noticed when I was younger, and this is what he did at Costco, they'd show a platter of food and he'd say, "I'll take that one. I'll have that one." And he'd typically point to the largest piece. And I would say, "My gosh, dad, like you have to pick the biggest piece." And he said, "If I don't take it, somebody else is going to take it." So for all of you who are watching, you're scrolling online and you're watching everybody live their big, bold, audacious life. They're living it because you don't have the guts to live it. So you can tell yourself the story that it's too hard. I shouldn't do that. no one my age should do that. It's too difficult. It's too late. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too short. I'm too. You can tell yourself all of that. Or you can have the courage to actually live and do the things that you want to do.
Mm.
And the moment that you start doing it, you'll start finding all the other people who have the courage to do the same thing. So that is my word. Go after, get the big piece of chicken.
Mm.
Get the big piece of chicken. Stop waiting. You don't deserve the burnt piece. You deserve the big piece of chicken. Years ago on the Roscoe's menu, my cousin's favorite entree was one succulent breast and a waffle. Right? That was her thing. I did the wings and the waffle. She wanted one succulent. Go after the succulence. Go after the sweetness. Go after the goodness of life. Stop waiting for and accepting those burnt crumbs and the leftover pieces and the piece that's been underneath the rotisserie light for 7 hours. Stop waiting. Go after what you want. Go after what you want. And the good news is you have people like Akilah, like Tiffany, like Brian, like whoever who's done this before, and they're willing to go after it. So you have a blueprint.
Yeah.
You got a framework. You got people
Yeah.
to support you in doing it. Do it and get the support that you need to have the life of your dreams.
I love that. And you segue into my next question because people are going to listen to that and say, I want to work with Tiffany. How do I find Tiffany? Where can
Absolutely.
I have a conversation with Tiffany? So would you let folks know if
Yes.
they are interested in working with you or even bringing you in for a larger talk? Because you do big organizations, you do individual clients, you can do this work at multiple capacities. So, how can folks get in contact with you if they want to work with Tiffany on a deeper level?
If you want to work with me, you can find me. I'm on YouTube, The Rebuild Talks with Tiffany. I'm on Instagram. I am Tiffany Nelson. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Tiffany Nelson. Find me. You can email me, Tiffany at TN Framework. Yeah, I'm happy to work with clients. I'm happy to have individual clients. I work with groups. I work with corporate clients. I work with educators. But yeah, reach out and find me. We'll put the details in the description so you all can find
Absolutely.
me and then help someone else find me also. Everything is better when we do it together. When we have someone to share it with, everything
Yeah.
is better.
It is. And here I am. I'm closing it out, but I just had another thought because when you were talking about, going out and doing your thing, finding your thing, and you'll find other people that
Mhm.
are there that will welcome you, that will give you whatever tips and guidance is. It also goes to joy and success. I've told people over and over again that there's enough joy and success for all of us. Just because Tiffany did it and is successful doesn't mean it took away the opportunities for you. If so and so is rich and successful, it doesn't mean that there's less money left behind for the rest of us. You can go and find your thing. You can go and claim your share and it's going to take care of all of us. So don't
Yeah.
hold back. Reach out to your experts. We're going to put Tiffany's information in the description so that you can get to her easily. And I'm going to say publicly out loud that Tiffany is going to come back and do another episode soon
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
we gonna see what other scary things she's done for herself as her own public experiment and
Yes.
hear all the feedback.
Absolutely. I can't thank you enough for having me. This time was really special. Thank you so much for having me on the Melanated Midlife.
Hey, I appreciate you, my dear. We are going to rock this out. We're going to have this posted in two different places because Tiffany's podcast is called The Rebuild, and you can find it in all the places that you find podcasts. But
Mhm.
more than anything, I hope that you reach out, make a comment. If there's something that we said in this episode that resonated with you, or maybe we didn't even explain it well enough, put it in the comments, and both Tiffany or I will respond to you because that's what we're here for.
Yes.
Out,
Love it.
ask the scary questions, show the vulnerable side of yourself, and let's unlock whatever the next thing is for you. So, thank you for joining the podcast. Appreciate anybody that takes time to just, sit here and join the conversation with us and sharing it with someone that you love. So, thank you. We'll see you here next time.
Love that.
I just love talking with Akilah Willery. We have the best conversations. Don't worry, you're going to hear more from her soon. But in the meantime, be sure to check out her podcast, The Melanated Midlife. I can't wait for you to learn more about her and her amazing life, her career, the things that she's done. Trust me, go comment on her page, comment on my page to let us both know that you're following and that you're ready to rebuild your life in a powerful way.